Hello, my Taurians, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your Path of True Love reading for August 2019. And I am your reader, Angelo Lyons, also known as Mal, or Mel for short. Very glad to be doing these again. You might want to check the beginning of the Aries video because we're changing things up. This is a learning curve. Though I've been reading since I'm 12 years old, not every day, you know, I had puberty and all that to deal with, adolescence, but being a professional reader for the majority of my life, pardon the kitties meowing in the background, they're not starving, they just want treats. That doing this on YouTube is just a lot of fun for me, and the feedback that I'm getting and the questions that I'm getting and the readings that I'm getting, the private readings that I'm getting are paying some of my bills, so blessed be. So as I was saying, my guides changed it up. You know, I work with the angels, the gods, and the masters. They wanted me to add a fourth deck. So I have added to this the Caroline Myss archetype cards. I've met... Boys! Jamaica! Do I... And it's the two kittens that love each other. Really? Go on. Get upstairs. Get. What's really funny about that is the goddess that I'm working with is Demeter, the Earth Mother, so you just heard mama voice. They love each other. Those are the two young ones. Do you see them? Do you see them hiding out? This is my life. But I love it. My boys, these are my children, right? So the mama archetype. So you've heard me talk about Caroline Myss before. Any other feline interruptions are going to have to be ignored. Shut your holes, honeys. Mama's making money. Not really. Not doing this. This is for fun and for, because it's what I incarnated to do. So the Caroline Myss archetype cards, third time around, is usually the charm. These cards ain't no joke. So what we're going to be doing for y'all is picking two, one for the divine masculine on the path of true love and one for the divine feminine in relationship to each other, because the path of true love, if anything else, is an archetypal lens through which to look at the spiritual path in terms of healing, growth, and evolution through your relationships, romantic and otherwise. So when I'm saying divine masculine, divine feminine, I'm not talking about physical, biological gender at all. Because relationship to relationship, because we all have both masculine and feminine energies, we should all know this by now. Teacher that I am, mother that I am, you should all know this by now. Certain relationships are going to bring out the different, you know, what's more dominant in you. So in some relationships, I'm definitely the divine masculine, particularly in a teaching role. I'm Zeus. But when, boys, but when I'm mama, to my boys, you feel it, right? It's the Hera in me, and that boys, go to your rooms. Divine feminine. So that being what it is, we're going to pick one for each with these Caroline Myss cards. And Caroline Myss being the beloved tough cookie that she is, I love her so much. These cards have been very helpful on my path. So shall we? As I tune to my angels, my gods, and my masters, I ask, please, since we're doing ladies first, please give me for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for the month of 2019. Please, one archetype card so we can zoom in on the divine feminine in this relationship. Top card. Oh, the rescuer. You like strays, divine feminine? I do. I'm not a rescuer, though. We'll talk about that. Let's get the divine masculine, and then we'll have a look-see-duck-see. My gods, my masters, my angels, please, one card for the divine masculine. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for the path of true love, August 2019. So we can zone in on them. The virgin, like a virgin, touched for the very first time. For the very first time today, I wore that Bette Midler shirt earlier today. That's a Bette Midler thing. Mud will be flung tonight. I have a ironclad memory for such things. I love her. So the Virgin is not what you think. The Rescuer may not be what you think. Let's look at these, and then we'll pull from each of the other 3 decks. Divine Feminine, the Rescuer. Now, what I love about these cards is it has both the light attribute and the dark attribute. There's no way you're going to be able to read this in this lighting, because you either see my face or you read the cards. It's one or the other. It's my job to read the cards. So every archetype is neutral. It's about power. It's about how the power is channeled through you. Archetypes are not pieces of yourself so much as they are routing systems of power, and how you incarnate with certain contracts to develop those particular flavors, if you will, of power. And everybody does it a little bit differently. So the Rescuer, light attribute, provides strength and support to others in crisis. Acts out of love with no expectation of reward. Just seeing if there's anybody in there that resonates with. Some of you do, certainly with animals. You have the animal rescuers, blessed be the animal rescuers. If I could take more than 3 black cats, I would, but the 3 are enough, and all of them came to me as rescues. The shadow attribute. Now, hold on, buckle in. This might be some of you, because Path to True Love is about working this kind of stuff out, right? Alchemizing the lead into gold, bringing the shadow into light. Shadow attributes assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. Card drop. Not as effective as a mic drop. Divine Feminines, I gotta say, the Divine Feminine is sort of known for the shadow side of this, right? We're sort of like, we rescue so that we will get ... in return, and it just never goes well, and it's a pattern that repeats. Now, I am not a rescuer. I am a healer. Mostly, I am a healer through words, through spiritual counseling, which is what I'm sort of doing right now. That's why these readings are not pure divination, although the divine interaction is certainly going on through me. If I see you slip on the ice, I will probably bust out laughing before I help you up. That's not a rescuer. That's just me. That's just my family. That's how I was raised. I am built for slapstick. But on the path of true love, the rescuer so often has to rescue herself. Go watch Ever After with Drew Barrymore if you haven't. I mean, what made that movie like the best Cinderella story for me ever, because there's so many of them. And it's just, if you haven't seen it by now, it's no longer a spoiler. Let's just say that the prince doesn't exactly rescue her. In other words, she rescues herself, which is a big thing with the damsel archetype as well. And maybe she'll pop up in one of these readings. She did not today. So keep that in mind. That's our divine feminine in here. Our divine masculine, the virgin, it's really not what you think. You know, like virgin goddesses. They call virgin goddesses Athena, Artemis, Hestia. It doesn't mean that they never had sex. It means that they never married, like virgin territory. Caroline May said this once when she was describing the virgin archetype, and it's when I realized I had it, but not in the literal way. She said if there's like cuts or crumbs into a stick of butter, she won't touch it the same way. What are you, skeeving me? What are you skeeving me? I mean, with family, maybe, but even then, it's like I want my own individual, like, wrapped pat of butter, or just give me my own stick. I'll even bring my own. I have a wonderful butter dish. I love my butter dish. I love my butter dish. And next in a series of books from Mark A. Lyons. Let me read you the light and the shadow attribute. The light attribute. Maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. I am a purist in some things, absolutely. Let me read the shadow. Shadow attribute. Fear of intimate union. Can I do another one just because it's ridiculous? Card drop. At least that one made a little bit of a noise. So keeping in mind that the divine masculine and the divine feminine are not about bodily biological gender. They're about routing systems of power that we came in to alchemize the lead to gold, bring the shadow to light, and that the path of true love is all about setting that up through pre-incarnational contracts and quantum schematas and schemes and plans and play the game and all of that. This is really set up for Taurus, regardless of which side you're playing. And yeah, I mean, you can jump from one side to the other, but once you've really identified which side you're playing, and which you will probably do as we tune in a little bit more to these, and if you are cross-watching, keep that in mind too. Really try and pick in this relationship that you're thinking about, more feeling than thinking about. Are you playing the yin or the yang, the feminine or the masculine, the receptive or the active? We could go on forever. My angels specifically requested a squadron of Urielites because this is the earth element of Taurus. Please, one card of clarity for the Taurian Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for 2019. Keeping in mind that we've got a rescuer and a virgin here. Seems a very, very, very old story of someone rescuing a virgin. A little archetypal, a lot of archetypal. One card of clarity, an overview. You want, no, those were three. Can I have one card? Clarity, overview. Give us a peek, a hint. Friendship. Oh, friendship. That's friendly. That's good. Well, good start. We'll see what builds onto that. But it was like I was just saying in the shuffle, it's like there's a certain archetypal relationship of the rescuer to the virgin. Well, really, it's the rescuer and the damsel. But also keep in mind the virgin, if we're talking goddess energy, this is the feminine family. There are 9 different families of archetypes. This is the feminine family. We're looking here about the maiden, as in the maiden, the mother, and the crone. That's why whether it's interesting that it's in the divine masculine position, but if you keep that there's a fear of intimacy there, and that maybe things are in the friend zone. Maybe things are in the friend zone. Maybe. But that's why we have other cards, right? So let me go to my gods, my Daughters of the Moon. By Fiona Morgan. There's the cough, the changing of the channel. Now it's happening when I'm doing readings face-to-face with people. My gods. Oh, Mother Demeter, my alchemist healer, my shaman healer. Please, one card for these beloved Taurians. You who sit in the throne of Taurus, great Demeter. One card, please, of guidance, of grace, of healing, of insight for Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. Criticism. Okay? Now, before we go there, I just want to clarify, criticism does not always mean nagging. 9 of Blades. Think about the 9 of Swords, right? It like in the Rider-Waite Tarot. Not a fun card. Right? It's this card because all the arrows are pointing inward. It's about take analysis and then tighten the focus even more, like critical care unit. We'll go into that, like a critical thinker, critical writing, critical something's critical. So it need not necessarily being critical like that. That's sort of a distortion of the original meaning of the word. Let's ask the masters. This is fun. By masters, so put the tarot back on the deck. Yes, ma'am. Oh, my masters. We've got a really sort of ancient thing here of someone rescuing a virgin, that it's a divine feminine rescuer and a divine masculine virgin. Is interesting, but you know, it is 2019. You know that better than I do. Watching the timeline from the eternal, fast forwarding and rewinding. Can you please give us one card from your point of view? What's going on? One card for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2019. No, that one, this one. Lack of self-worth. Wah, wah. We got a whammy. All right, let me reposition these and tune. Well, what I'm immediately picking up here is with the rescuer, very, very friendly energy here. Like this is maybe not something that immediately has a romantic look to it, which leads me to think maybe this isn't necessarily a true lover relationship right away, but perhaps a soulmate partnership in terms of friendship. I've said it, my friends have always saved my ass way more than lovers ever had. In fact, some of them have really been there for the fallout after a karmic relationship blows up. So, you know, I will say, Wayne Dyer, I think, said it originally, that our friends are the God's apology for our families. I made the deity plural there. I'm picking all of them. They're like, yeah, I've got some friends. Waiting at the end of the road, boys. Waiting for my new friends to come. So I do feel like this rescuer is somebody, this divine feminine is somebody who does pick up strays. Who does pick up people who don't know what they're doing. So there's probably, well, in the rescuer, they're reminding me, is part of the healing family of archetypes. That's why I said I am a healer. I have the healer archetype, the shamanic healer, the alchemical healer. But here in this situation, it does feel like that thing of really will take in any stray. And I know Taurians to do this. Taurians are collectors. Sometimes they collect people. I don't think it's a slavery type of thing, but it just gives them a sense of worth. Taurus is the one sign out of the 12 that gets to have as many tchotchkes as they want, right? Because they're that fixed earth. It's like they really do value things, but sometimes those things might be invested with much more of a symbolic, sentimental, emotional thing that acts like touchstones to them. In other words, not all Taurians are hoarders, but certainly I've met a few. And then I really feel, because of this friendship, with the criticism that there's something, the goddess is saying, look closer, my dears, look closer. Go in deeper. Not just be analytical. See it with a critical eye rather than an emotional eye. That there are some things going on here that because of issues of lack of self-worth, you're not seeing clearly. Excuse me while I pull another tarot card. Switching gears. My gods of true love, if I may ask Aphrodite and Eros for a moment. Oh, Libra is also ruled by Venus. Right, as is Taurus. Oh, interesting bridge. Knew that, forgot it. One card, please. What is the, I just want to test, is there romantic potential here? Is this about, look closer, because of lack of self-worth, that there's something that's being missed here that needs to be focused in on? Yeah, just one card, please. Just give us a little clarity. Okay, reframe, rephrase, retrograde, renew. What is it that you would have them focus on so critically with that card of criticism? Or what is it that they're focusing on too critically and are missing the larger picture, which is probably more what's going on? Compassion. Compassion, right? What is that? Six of Cups, usually considered, you know, nostalgia and sort of the lover's card of the minor arcana. And I'm down with all of that. And that may be applicable here. But this card is just so tender, right? It's like sisters doing it for themselves, right? Helping each other out. Those cups overflowing in compassion. And as I tune to this card, the message comes so clear. Compassion is holding a vision for someone they can't always hold for themselves. It's understanding that at core, everybody is doing the best that they can. So maybe the criticism there might be focused in on somebody's lack of self-worth, but it's a projection of their own lack of self-worth, because that's just how it goes. And if you were actually to look with more compassionate eyes, what would they see? I won't turn the cards over. Just give me one. If they were to look with the eyes of compassion, the eyes of Kuan Yin, what would they see? One of those. Never done this before. What would they see if they saw through the eyes of compassion, my angels? They would see a soulmate that is undergoing independence. That's why they didn't want me to look. That you're both dealing with independence. Particularly Taurus. I mean, they love that thing of nesting usually. I mean, it depends on what other signs you have in your chart. I mean, I'm a Virgo Sun, 4 planets. People think I'm like obsessive compulsive and neat. Honey, the Pisces moon just cancels that fucker out. I have to pendulum douse to find my wallet. But there's something here about independence, and it's an interesting card because it's a person on an island who's pushing the boat back out to sea. Leave me alone. I'm independent. I don't need anybody. So that might be some of the if you look through the eyes of compassion, that might be something the two of you share. And why am I feeling this is more for the divine masculine, the virgin, who doesn't want to be owned, who doesn't want to be controlled, who doesn't want to belong to anyone, wants to be independent. Now, look, I'm not talking about independence, healthy self-reliance. But the independence, the reason why this is actually considered a womp, by the way, it's not called a womp womp card. In this deck, it's called one of the problem cards. And it is a problem card because it's self-isolation while living life, right? Just being independent, cutting people off, not depending upon anyone. Now, by the way, codependence is no genius solution either, right? So if the choice is between entanglement, codependent, abuse, neglect, all of that, or independent, I get independent. And that's not about taking time to yourself. The Hermit card would have come up. It's not here. We're talking about a friendly environment here. Don't forget that card of friendship. Like, there's something here that is friendly in and of itself. And there's a soulmate. Like I said, this could be a friendship-based soulmate. But are you not making yourself available to the experience of compassion that maybe you have somebody that you could cry with or in front of and would be there for you and wouldn't try to change you, wouldn't try and heal you, but would love you and give you space to do that? That's what this feels like. And honestly, this feels like it goes both ways, that the virgin could do it for the rescuer, because I feel like the virgin is very touched by the rescuers. In other words, the divine masculine is really touched by the goodness of the divine feminine here in terms of what they do to help people. Like, that's their way that they heal. They provide strength and support and ask for nothing in return, which is very selfless, but that's why the compassion can often be so selfless that they burn out. Why? Because of lack of self-worth. It's instead of the aggressive narcissist, that's the passive narcissist. They people please, they give, they rescue, and they never get anything back, because underneath that all, there is a lack of self-worth. So I get the thing of independence there. Pull back. No man's an island. Fucking watch. This one is, right? But for the path of true love, for this month, my bulls, my darlings, that there is a soulmate opportunity, a soulmate contract. It's not like you can make someone a soulmate or unmake someone a soulmate or a twin flame. There's so many different definitions. Really, I should stick to Matt Kahn's. Really, he's got one on twin flames and soulmates, a video. It's so good, so breakthrough. He's truly at the top of the field of the stuff that he's getting. Where twin flames are turbulent and they teach you how to heal yourself. Soulmates are satisfying and they help you. They teach you how to heal each other. This really feels more soulmate terrain, that there is a friendship there. And I'm not even going to comment about any romantic sexual things going here, because remember, I'm reading for the collective, so there might be a little romantic interest there. But at least for the month of August 2019, this is a lot about healing. This is a lot about friendship. And if you read A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson, she talks about love being a rose. The stem is the friendship, the blossom, the romance. Now, this is where I paraphrase, because this is how I see it in my mind, clairvoyant that I am. Remove the stem from the blossom, you have a thing of beauty that will quickly wither and die within days. But nurture the stem, and the bud will grow and blossom and fall again and again and again and again and again. So remember, true love isn't all about romance. There is true love friendship, true love partnership, soul companionship. We're coming up with all of these new terms, just like all these new relationship structures, like polyamorous this, an open relationship that. Oh my God, you kids in your relationship structures. Every day there's another one. I'm omnisexual. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I think it has to do with an old model Dodge. Lil, you're not a Taurus, but I hope you That joke, my friend Lillian from college drove a Dodge Omni. We drove that thing all over Massachusetts in massive shoe shits. Taurians, hang in there. This card is just singing to my heart. This card of create a safe space there. Whichever one of you is the Taurus here, know that you have the ability to support both, either as virgin or as rescuer here. But it's really got to be about looking at your own self-worth issues and why you're so independent, to maybe not independent to not reach out and help each other, but to be vulnerable around each other. And that feels way more important. And then lastly, with this criticism card right at the top, the gods are saying, look closer. Look closer. There's more here than meets the eye. It's not an enchanted situation. It might be one of those things where they're showing me two meanings where either you're being so microscopic about some fault or something that annoys you that you're missing the bigger picture, that this is soulmate terrain you're in, that there's a contract here. Or the exact opposite. You're taking it with such a broad stroke. You know, swipe left, good friend, but swipe left, that you're not seeing the larger soul contract. And believe me, there's nothing in the world like a soulmate, friend, partner, companion along the path, who, even if they don't understand exactly what you're going through, they don't care because they love you. That's unconditional love, which is about as true love as it gets. Really a mixed bag here, my bulls, but you can work it. Hang in there. What else are you going to do, right? You're Taurians. I believe in you. And I know the love and compassion you have in your heart. If Demeter is in you, that unconditional mother love is there. But then again, don't kidnap her daughter. She'll starve all humanity. I love my Taurians. Charge or no. Cool. Reach out, get a reading if you need. Read my info. Please subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel because I'm going to keep cranking these puppies out. Having a lot of fun with it. And, you know, the more you like, the more they circulate, the more people get it. So this is social media. I need your help on that because I'm helping a lot of people here. So the more you like and the more you share and the more you subscribe, the more people see it. It's just how YouTube works, babies. So let's work it. I thank you so much for your time. Hope you enjoyed your reading. But for now, my darlings, hail, farewell, and blessed be.